When someone hurts you, something very ancient awakens inside you. It is not just an emotion, nor merely sadness or anger. It is a vibration that rises from the deepest layers of your psyche, a silent earthquake that changes the way you think about yourself, the way you see others, and the way you understand the world. Carl Jung believed that such moments are not accidents. They are invitations. Not easy invitations, not comfortable ones, but necessary ones. They force the soul to turn inward, to face everything that has been hidden, suppressed, or ignored. And within that confrontation lies the possibility of transformation. What we avoid accepting holds the seed of who we can become. Imagine a person who tries to be good in life, tries to be kind, tries to be fair. He believes that if he treats others well, he will receive good treatment in return. It sounds logical, moral, safe, but life does not operate on moral equations. Life operates on psychological laws. And one of the hardest laws is this: being good does not protect you from being hurt. In many cases, it actually makes you more vulnerable, because the world contains all kinds of people. Jung said that the first wound often comes from an illusion. The illusion that other people will see you the same way you see yourself. The illusion that your inner values will automatically protect you from the outer world. When this illusion breaks, the pain is sharp because it does not only hurt your heart, it hurts your identity. You begin to ask yourself, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? Why did they treat me like this? But Jung shifts the question. Instead of asking, why did they hurt me? He suggests asking, which part of me is waking up through this pain? Because pain is never random. It touches a very specific place inside you. It activates old wounds, old beliefs, old fears. Betrayal feels so deep because it echoes an earlier experience of abandonment. Criticism stings because it sounds like the voice that has been judging you from within for years. So the first step in handling hurt is not reaction. It is awareness. Most people react immediately. They attack, collapse, shut down, or pretend nothing happened. These reactions are human, but they keep you on the surface of the experience. Jung believed that real growth begins when you pause and turn inward, when you sit with the pain, not to drown in it, not to glorify it, but to listen to it. Pain has its own language. It speaks through sensations, images, memories, and emotions. When you allow yourself to feel it without running away, patterns begin to appear. You realize this is not the first time you have felt this way. Different faces, different situations, the same emotional wound. Jung said this is the unconscious trying to become conscious. Maybe you trust too quickly. Maybe you avoid confrontation and tolerate behavior that slowly erodes your self-respect. Maybe you seek validation from people who are emotionally unavailable. Maybe you fear being alone so deeply that you accept disrespect. Understanding this does not mean you are to blame for being hurt, but it does mean you are participating in a pattern. And that is your power. Because what you participate in, you can change. Handling hurt begins with taking your power back from the victim story. This does not mean denying what happened. It does not mean justifying bad behavior. It means refusing to let the wound become your identity. Jung believed that every human carries a shadow. The shadow contains the parts of us we reject, suppress, or don't want to see. Anger, jealousy, desire for revenge, greed, dependency, fear, weakness. When someone hurts you, your shadow often awakens. You may feel a rage you didn't know you had. You may imagine revenge. You may want to punish, withdraw, or become emotionally cold. Most people feel ashamed of these feelings. They try to be good and push them down. Jung warned that this only makes the shadow stronger and more dangerous. Instead, he recommended honesty, saying to yourself, yes, I am angry. Yes, I want revenge. Yes, I feel bitter. This is not weakness. This is courage. When you acknowledge what you feel, those emotions stop controlling you from the dark. They move into the light, where they can be understood and transformed. Handling hurt is not about becoming harmless. It is about becoming conscious. The person who knows their anger can choose how to use it. The person who denies their anger is ruled by it. Jung believed anger contains energy. That energy can destroy, or it can protect. When someone hurts you, your anger may be signaling that a boundary has been crossed. It may be telling you that something in your life is out of balance. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of this anger? Ask, what is this anger asking me to change? Maybe you need to stop overgiving. Maybe you need to speak instead of staying silent. Maybe you need to distance yourself from someone. Maybe you need to accept that the other person will never become who you hoped they would be. Handling hurt also involves grief. Not only grief for what happened, but grief for the dream you had. You may have believed in a version of that person that never truly existed. Letting go of that illusion is painful, but holding on to it is even more painful. Jung called this projection. When we place our own hopes, qualities, and ideals onto another person, we don't see them as they are. We see them as we want them to be. When this projection collapses, it hurts, but it is also the way back to yourself. You slowly take back the qualities you saw in them. If you saw them as loving, find love within yourself. If you saw them as strong, develop your own strength. If you saw them as wise, learn to understand yourself. This is not a process of becoming cold or closed. It is a process of becoming whole. Jung believed wholeness comes when we reclaim all parts of ourselves instead of searching for them in others. When someone hurts you, you often want them to understand your pain. You want them to admit they were wrong. But the truth is, not everyone has the emotional capacity for that. Real closure comes from within. If someone is incapable of empathy, trying to force them to understand will only wound you further. Handling hurt means accepting the limits of others. Not everyone can meet you at your depth. Not everyone wants to grow. This is a bitter truth, but also a freeing one. You stop trying to draw water from a dry well, and you begin to give yourself what you were seeking from others: validation, compassion, safety, respect. Jung believed one of the great tasks of life is to become your own guardian, to develop an inner voice that protects you, guides you, and holds you. Handling hurt is a process. Some days you will feel strong, some days weak. Some days it will seem like you are healed. Then a memory, a song, a smell will awaken the pain again. This is normal. Healing is not linear. It is spiral. Eventually, you realize that pain was never your enemy. It was your teacher. And one day you will look back and understand that the moment someone hurt you was the moment you began building a deeper relationship with yourself. You were not broken. You were awakening. And that is real power. There are many kinds of people in this world. Every day you will encounter different faces. Many will look kind and pleasant on the outside, but their inner truth may be very different. You cannot recognize a person's thoughts just by looking at their face. That is why, before trusting anyone, you must observe and understand them deeply. Carl Jung said that everything is reflected in a person's eyes. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video.